That's the answer.
Thank you very much indeed. Dr. Eric Watts, now Chair of Doctors for the NHS. Let's have a word with Daniel Mortimer then, Chief Executive of NHS Employers. Good morning.
Morning, Chris.
It's supply and demand here, isn't it? There's not enough consultants to go around, and when they're required, we have to pay them. Otherwise, we wouldn't have them doing this critical work for the NHS.
So there are a couple of things. I think in that most extreme example you gave in Lancashire, that clearly is about supply. It's about it feels to me like a department that doesn't have enough doctors in it and is having to pay that kind of payment. I think the average you found was £13,000 rather than the 375 you mentioned. But what you found was that was paid to half of doctors. The other half of doctors don't get paid that sort of overtime. They'll receive contractual overtime, but they don't receive the kind of local arrangements you've described. And what we do need to have is a contractual arrangement now for consultants across the UK, which actually standardises what we pay doctors for the non-emergency work they do at the weekends, as well as the emergency work that they do at the weekends.
Yeah,
no, please.
No, the basic point and the key point that we kept on being heard repeated by Eric again and again is we need more of them. We need more of them, and then we wouldn't be in this situation.
In my time in the NHS, we have seen a very dramatic growth in the number of consultants that we employ, and this country has invested heavily in medical education and in the number of senior doctors that we employ. Rightly, we've needed to do that to improve the services that we provide patients. What we do see in certain parts of the country, in Lancashire maybe, in a specific department, maybe that particular example, is that there are shortages in some areas and some specialties, but there are others where actually there is availability. But what we struggle to do within the current contract that we have is flex capacity into the weekend to deal with the waiting list obligations that we have to the public. And we'd like a settlement which makes sure that actually we do pay people, we pay all our staff properly for evening and weekend work, but that we do so for consultants in a way which is fairly applied to all consultants and is in line with what we pay other colleagues as well.
OK, we've got to leave it there, but thank you very much. Daniel Mortimer, Chief Executive of NHS Employers. It's 7:48. You're listening to 5 Live.
This is 5 Live Breakfast.
And these are the headlines. One of the men thought to have killed an elderly...